Hi, good evening, and welcome to A Woman's Prerogative. My name is Claudette Esterine-Campbell, and I am the chairperson of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. With me tonight is our regular co-host, Dr. Asha Mwendo. How are you, Dr. Asha?
Good evening, everyone. I am doing great. I must say, today is one of those days where you have much to do. I got a certificate of appreciation. I got to taste the luscious Krispy Kreme donut come to Jamaica. I got to taste it
Oh,
today.
it hasn't been there.
It came here early on this year.
Okay,
Or
that's
late last year sometime, and persons were going crazy over it. Well, I finally tasted, not bad at all. So today has been good. So I'm thankful.
you fed your sweet tooth. Okay, so
And my sweet tooth.
sorry, I'm sorry, I'm looking down, folks. I'm just
Okay.
sharing to sharing to everywhere I need to share to. So now that I have you here,
Mm-hmm.
I want to for you to give me a honest and
Mm-hmm.
public review of Claudette's, my namesake, cake that you had a chance to taste, and I won't have a chance to taste until January when
Mm-hmm.
my cake gets here.
Yes. I was fortunate I tasted her cake and I tasted her pudding. And
Pudding too.
yes, I got pudding as well. And I'm a skeptic when it comes to baking because as my mom always say, when you can do something, you always
Hmm.
criticize it a little harder. And to
Hmm.
be honest, they were both excellent, very rich, awesome, awesome. I can't find a fault with them. The only fault I find is that it's not me bake it, but it was really, really good. The cake was rich, right amount of moisture, texture perfect, and a good bite to it. You can tell she put the fruits and everything in there, so it had a
Hmm.
very good bite, and the taste was excellent. And it wasn't too sweet,
Hmm.
was sweet enough for you to know what you're having. So it was perfect. I find it really, really good. And the pudding, sell
What
off.
kind of pudding was it?
It was potato pudding. It's the only kind I
Oh
eat.
my
I
God,
don't eat
potato
the
pudding.
others. I don't eat the
You don't
others.
eat cornmeal pudding? No?
I don't eat cornmeal pudding.
Okay.
The only way I eat cornmeal is turned.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't
And I
really.
don't eat turned cornmeal, but I
My
love sweet potato pudding.
I love sweet
Let
potato
me
pudding
bring
as
in
well.
our one of our co-hosts, director Gloria Rose Saunders. Gloria, we're here
Hmm.
talking about um,
Christmas cake.
Claudette's Christmas cake. I want a pudding too. Please share
I will
first.
tell her. I will
Oh,
tell
here she
her.
is. Yes, I
I'll
Hmm.
want a
pass.
pudding too.
I will
I
pass the
want a
message
sweet
on to her.
potato pudding.
Yes.
Clara has joined
It's
us, but her camera isn't on, so I'm not putting her in studio. How are you, Gloria?
okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm grateful and I'm good.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't want to belabor the point, but we are doing
Mm-hmm.
this tonight's A Woman's Prerogative is about the year in review, the year that
Yes.
is coming to an end, and so forth. And
Mhm.
a big part of our year here at the Daughters of Sheba Foundation this year was the fact that both of you, yourself and Dr. Asha,
Mm-hmm.
are
Mm-hmm.
journeying with breast cancer. And,
Yes.
both of you have been gracious enough to share um,
Yes.
tip,
Mhm.
tips and parts of your
Yes.
experience. So sometimes when we come, I will say to you guys, how are you? How are you? That's really what I'm referring to. So
Yes.
let us start there. And I'm not doing this in order tonight in terms of covering everything, but I just want to start there just to check in with both of you and any opening thoughts you have to share in terms of breast cancer. Dr. Asha, I know you started a foundation. Good night, Carilla. Thanks for joining us as always. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of our group, Carilla. Dr. Asha, I know you launched a foundation a
Yeah.
couple months ago to
Mhm.
on the issue of supporting women who are journeying with breast cancer. How did that go and how is that? The launch, I mean, and how is it going?
The launch was excellent. I tried to keep it family oriented and friends oriented. So it was, I did not send out a public invitation. I really deliberately gave invitation to special persons to come. And then these special persons tell persons that they are coming. And then these special friends want to be part of it. So it was a
Mhm.
nice opportunity that we had. We had everybody buying into the process and
Mhm.
persons. So far, we have assisted 7 women because as you go along, you learn things. And one of the things I learned is that women had to buy their needles every
Needed for what?
for the chemo. Those who did the chemo, they
Okay.
for needles. And
Okay.
so I was sitting there with my daughter. My daughter came down to support me when a lady was telling me that she was so grateful that somebody gave her 3 needles. And I was like, 3 needles for what? And then she explained that she had to buy the needles for $1,500 every time. And so I have
Fifteen
sponsored
hundred dollars per needle, or?
her needle.
Mhm.
And so I sponsored some women just this month in getting their needles, and they were quite grateful. So we have started to do something, and we
Mm.
have a number of commitments coming in the new year to help at a bigger level. Well, I learned yesterday as well when I went to doctor yesterday, and you're also having a challenge with printer in the oncology department to print the results from the for the
Okay,
patients.
Dr. Asha, sorry to cut you. May I beg you, do
Mm-hmm.
not get me upset tonight.
With what?
Because you're gonna get me upset when you
They
tell me
have a printer, but it now
that
work
there
good.
is no printer in a big government
They
department.
have many printers in many departments, but the one in the oncology department is not working properly. And therefore, some persons are having challenges to get their blood results. And so that is a reality.
Good evening, Colleen. Thank you for joining us. As always, you're our guardian angel, Colleen. Gloria, so how are you? How has the journey been for you?
Um, I I am good. As I said, I am good, and I'm very grateful.
Mhm.
It has been. I can't say it has been challenging because I have had so much support. Believe you
Mhm.
me, I've had lots of support. So even if I felt like I was being challenged, it didn't last for long because I've had so much support from friends, from the medical fraternity, all every step of the way. And it's scary. As I said in my last Sunday spirit, it is very scary, very terrifying, the unknown. But I've been getting fighting through it. So yeah, I've been good.
Okay, thank you so much, both of you, for sharing that. Miss Clara, thank you for joining us. Putting in an appearance. So for those of you who are not aware of exactly who we are, just allow me a minute to share. The Daughters of Sheba Foundation is a non-Canadian registered, Canadian-based nonprofit organization focused on women. We do a variety of stuff for women, but our main focus is being inspirational, motivational, offering support, be it spiritual or psychological support. That's what we do. We are in the business of positivity among women. We are in the business of I don't like to use the word women empowerment, but I prefer women engaging women, just to show them that
Education,
there's another way.
educating.
Engage and educate. Thank you, Gloria. Um, just to show that and display by our own relationship as a group of women that we don't have to yam up each other.
Mm-mm.
We can be different. We can be have different views on various topics. Like me is a PNP and Clara is a something.
Mm.
Else,
Mm.
you know. But that doesn't mean that we cannot engage each other on a heart-to-heart level, and that's what we try to demonstrate here at the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Clara, thank you for joining us tonight. It's a special night. This is the last A Woman's Prerogative for the year 2023. And just to address, there are two elephants in the room that I'll be addressing tonight. But just to address the first one, like I said, my name is Claudette Esterine-Campbell, and I am the chairperson of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. Um, I am scheduled for surgery tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., as I told the ladies behind the scene. Those of you who are in our private group and private conversations with me will know that I've been having problems with my eyes, my right eye in particular. So I'm kind of covering it up tonight with my glasses. I'm scheduled for surgery tomorrow morning at 8. So I ask. I'm scared. I'm scared. It's my eye. It's what I use. It's my tool. Like I've always said to people that I say to my daughter all the time, if the other thing I'm scared of is dementia and so forth, and just take me out back if that happens. It's the same kind of feeling I have about my eyes. So I really am scared. I'm putting on a brave front, but I know it's all in God's hand, and
yes.
that's the basis of the journey. So that's the first elephant in the room I want to deal with. Tonight, it's we're going to be doing a review of some, not all, of the topics that we have covered throughout this year on a woman's prerogative. A woman's prerogative, which was named by Dr. Asha. This is our second year. We're coming to the close of our second year of this particular program, this particular feature of the Daughters of Sheba Foundation. And we discuss various issues about women, for women specifically, from a female perspective. And so we've covered several topics, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 that I'm going to be sharing clips of tonight. But before we do that, Clara, I just wanted to ask you, how has the year been for you from a woman's perspective so far? With 2 more weeks to go, or 3 more weeks to go, I guess.
It has been a fairly good year. I'm not one of those persons who sit down and write a vision board or do resolutions. I set myself some personal goals, and fundamentally one of them was to be more consistent with my wealth building initiatives
Okay.
at a personal
So you're rich now, my friend?
on a personal level.
Friend, you're rich. You're
And
rich now, or richer? You're richer now?
you ask me a question, allow me to answer now.
If you're richer now, if me can't come home, come live with you.
You're always welcome, even without it.
Come back, come eat a sardine. It's
I
all
was
right.
gonna say that too, that she's welcome with our daughter.
Even without it, yeah.
Oh,
But
guys, talk amongst
I'll
yourself. I need to take this call, okay? Bye.
Continue to talk, Clara.
continue.
Yes.
Yes. So that I am quite proud of myself in terms of attaining or still working at it. We have approximately a month to go, and I have plans for that month as well.
Okay.
And since I got news that we'll be getting a exceptional bonus at work
All
soon.
right.
But that's one of my personal goals that I deliberately set out to achieve a better experience as it relates to savings and being very deliberate about the managing my financial resources.
Carla says you are to remember her.
Carla is my cousin from country. I,
Um,
I don't buy lotto, so I guess that is how I have to deal with it.
Of course. And it
Yeah.
is important
So,
that we create generational wealth.
Of course,
yeah.
definitely.
Dr. Asha, that's Colleen thanking you for your lovely background music as always. Is it Teeny Wally? What's it called? Or is it the crickets? It's a cricket.
It's my company.
The
Which one? I
birds.
really live at Jamaica.
So your birds don't go to sleep.
No, these are not the
Some
birds.
birds.
Those are
These
Oh,
are
not
the
birds.
crickets.
Those are crickets.
oh,
The night insects
oh,
and all.
oh, okay.
So outside now you're hearing crickets, you're hearing frogs as well. But we tend to misinterpret the frog and think it's croaky sound it makes. So I have some small frogs around, so they are making
Wow.
lovely noise out there. But you know what? That's a sign that my environment is healthy.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
So all right, so let's jump into the first item that you want to review. That was actually the hospital calling me saying that there was a cancellation. So my surgery has now been bumped up to 6 tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So first topic. Like I said, I'm not doing it in
Any
order,
order?
like the month and so forth. I'm just going to grab um anyone that comes up first. So I will share our screen. So I'm gonna play this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
By the ways of the world, but we want to renew our mind first and sprinkle our essence and influence on the world. Because our choices need to come from where? They need to come from our mind and from our heart. Sometimes the things that bring us peace are inner healing, right? Because we all want peace and inner healing. Nobody will say they don't. But often these things don't stimulate us fast enough, right? They're not the thing that's going to bring us instant pleasure, satisfaction. Think about it. A can of Coca-Cola. Why is it so good? The salt.
I love this guy. I love this guy. And I thought that's why we started a few minutes earlier. I thought it was his tone, his calmness, the music. It just encapsulates everything that we want to talk about this evening about finding our healing. Hi, how are you doing, Dr. Asha? Speaking of healing, how are you?
I am being healed, and the power of the mind is really an awesome thing. And I do agree with him. And so today I am extremely awesome.
Yeah, when we before we came on, I asked her, "How are you?" And she said that, you know what? I'm going to say I'm extremely awesome. And I said to her, "Name it and claim it,"
Oh,
um, because as she says, the power of the mind is extremely awesome. This month here at the Daughters of Sheba Foundation, and for those of you who don't know us, we are a Canadian registered nonprofit organization. And we are based in Edmonton, Alberta. Dr. Asha, Edmonton, Alberta has been in the social media news for the last week
yes.
as of a Jamaican fellow. And I love my city. I've lived here for almost 20 years, and I love my city. And it really grieves me to see my city being brought up in such a negative way, but
Yes.
it's all good. Anyway, we are a nonprofit organization here based in Edmonton, Alberta. We are women centric, women focused. We truly believe in women lifting women, and we don't only believe it, we try to live it. And so, while we have men amongst us in our group, we also do have a private group on Facebook where we have a chat room on Facebook where we hold even more intimate conversations with each other. We are focused on the lives of women, and each month we have a theme for each month. For the year, our theme is leveling up, and each month we take an aspect of that to focus on. This month, being September, being the last quarter of 2023, the focus for this month is healing our mind, body, spirit, and even our finances. Every part of us that needs healing. So that's what Dr. Asha, who is a psychologist, as well as a naturopath, as a wellness coach, as well as a radio host in Jamaica. What's your um Fit FM.
Healing Moments on Fit FM.
And her program is called Healing Moments, on Fit FM. Dr. Asha won't mind if me saying this. We're going to.
Not hearing you, Claudette.
That was our conversation in September, Time to Heal. And we looked at healing of the body, mainly because, like I said earlier, of Dr. Asha's and Gloria's situation. But we also talked about healing of the soul, the spirit, the finances, healing of relationships. And there's another clip later on about that. I just want us each each of you to share your general thoughts about the journey of women through 2023. And did you see any area in which you thought as a collective that we are truly healing? I don't know if Gloria wants to go first.
In regards to healing, I don't really think we, as a body, in terms of women, that we have recognized the importance for self-healing, meaning in terms of we focusing on ourselves and the power that we have to heal, whether it be mentally, physically, emotionally. I don't think we truly recognize the power that we have in that area.
Thank you,
That's my
Gloria.
part.
Clara, your thoughts?
I think I made the point in that session that the first step that we ought to be cognizant, that we ought to take, is to place the value on the concept that healing starts from within. And after that, having recognized that, then the outer influence, whether from support group as like Daughters of Sheba Foundation, your friends, your family, your general support, your communities, that's an added benefit to the core of your recognizing that healing starts from within. So I don't think we are there yet in
I agree.
recognizing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have hope that there are those of us who can lead that charge, whether through the foundation or in our individual lives, because we all have a testimony as to how we are healing or have been healed or seen the effect of healing within our own circles. So, yeah.
Dr. Asha?
I do agree with Clara and Gloria in that we are still not at the place where we first realize that healing starts within, starts with us, and also some of us feel guilty about making time for our own healing space. And when other persons choose their journey for healing, sometimes we stand in judgment on them, or maybe let them feel that, oh, you are weak, you can't do this, you should step aside. We still have not gotten to a place as women, not talking about our individual persons, but as women, we have not gotten to the place where we realize that we are important enough to ourselves to seek our own healing first before putting others before ourselves. You're still
For
mute.
my part,
Okay.
I'm mute because there's
I
going on
understand.
behind me. Yeah. So for my part, in terms of healing as a community, and speaking specifically of the Jamaican community, whether it's in Jamaica or in the diaspora, um, I find that it's not healing. I find that we are harming ourselves this year that is coming to an end. The Jamaican woman community on social media in particular, because that's where lots of things happening, and that's where I inhabit. Let me say that for me to interact with the Jamaican community, I inhabit the social media space, and it's a very toxic space in the Jamaican women community, both in the diaspora and in Jamaica. And it saddens me personally as a woman, as a child of the 1970s, as a child of the PNP. I'm being quite frank, as someone who grew up at the feet of leaders, women leaders in Jamaica. I'm very saddened by what I'm seeing. I see a lot of imposters coming on social media trying to claiming authority on the issues, on women's issues of empowerment, or as I prefer, engagement, and they really don't have a clue what they're talking about. They're really just using these big words and fancy words, but they're not walking. They're not walking the talk. So the only walking I am seeing within our community of women, not in the Daughters of Sheba Foundation, because we try to hold that space, if I may say so myself, that within our private group, within our private conversations, we try to hold that space. But when I look at the bigger, wider community, I'm seeing women are stepping back. We are women, Jamaican women, both in Jamaica and in the diaspora who interact. And I don't want to generalize, but I'm just saying the ones on the media, they're stepping back. And the main influencer of this is not a woman. I'm sorry. I don't care who want to cuss me, who want to come after me, whatever. I don't care if them when them do my surgery tomorrow morning, I go blind. The woman,
Hey, girl.
the woman who is the
Let's not
leader.
say that.
Okay, the
Yes.
woman who is the leader of this new movement, backward movement. That's exactly what she's doing. She has led the woman on social media backwards, the Jamaican woman, and it is very, very sad. As a child of the 70s, as a child of Michael Manley era, I'm very disheartened by what I'm seeing. And quite frankly, I don't see any woman in the political scene, whether it is the PNP, the JLP. I don't see any woman grabbing that space and leading the woman as we once had back in the day. Even if you look in the States, VP Harris, I'm sorry, she's not effective. I don't find her as an effective international women's leader. I don't see her being effective. Gloria some time ago talked about Mia Motley. I've also spoken about her, and quite frankly, she is the most positive, influential woman leader that I can see on the international political scene at this time for us as Black women. Michelle Obama was once, but her influence is waning a bit, at least not on us in the Caribbean or here in Canada. So for me, that's my 2 cents. That's my 20 cents on that. All right, let's see what else we have. What's the next thing to look at? Like I said, I'm not doing it in any particular order. I am just pulling up what I have.
Sweet part, the juicy part, my private part. Yes, your part. We're also going to look at the fact that some time ago I was at a certain place and a woman was saying women should not be hunting at all. So we shouldn't be going to work to hunt for our food, to care for our family. We should have our king man to do all of that for us. And she was talking about all the ways that when she had to hunt, she became stressed out. She was sick all the time. but now she have a hunter in her life. She's much better. The fact of the matter is, as I said, and I'm pointing out, you are a hunter, baby, because you're working. You are in a doctor's office being the receptionist, and it's not your husband. So therefore, you are still hunting.
That that conversation, Dr. Asha, about hunting. Should women be hunters? And you share briefly what was your basic position about women hunting their partners.
Okay, so we're looking at it from more than one perspective, not just hunting partners, but also hunting for your own bread. And so that's how it had really started, you know. She was saying that women should not be out there in the marketplace hunting for your own food, being available for men to see you, for you to attract your own the type of partners you want. You know, she was that's what she was saying. And we were saying, hello, she's at work, she's hunting. But she figures because she have a husband at home, she says, that provides for her, what she was doing was not hunting. So I'm saying if your husband is providing enough for you and you are still in this space, you are still a hunter, you are still hunting for your own food. But we also took it to this perspective to look at the fact that some women are going out there seeing men that they like and letting them know they like them, because a lot of the men these days, the decent ones, are shy and they like you and they keep looking at you and smiling, but they're not saying any word. And so sometimes women will start the conversation, open the door, let the man realize I like you too, and hunt for what you want. Because as a conversation we had today, as one woman says, if you sit down and make him go and smile at you, and you smile at him, and he smile at and he smiles until the woman back at you, think a she must smile at, and hold on upon him, and you still slug with the smile. So
Did
sometimes,
we? Sorry,
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead,
No,
go
I was
ahead.
just saying, did we not have this something about kind of this conversation last month, Clara, when we were
Okay.
talking about relationships and we were playing what's his name, Jamaican Carlos clips where he was talking about the guys going around.
Standing by themselves and not doing anything, not making any move.
No, make
Yeah,
no move.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So sometimes
this
women have to, you know,
Shyness take over.
listen to me, man.
It's
girl, what do you feel about that? Yes, I know you're going through, and I don't know if you're like me. I know you're a widow like I am, but I've declared that I will remain a widow for the rest of this life. I'm not getting involved with anyone intimately again.
I
What do you
oh
feel about
well, I'm
hunting?
not hunting for a partner. I'm
Mhm.
not hunting for a partner, but I mean, there as Dr. Asha said, you go out and you hunt for food. So I mean, of course, I have to provide for myself,
Mhm.
in terms of my daily living needs. So yes, I do have to go out and hunt and hustle and bustle like everybody else. So yes, I am in the hunt as well, except I'm not hunting for a partner. But yeah,
Thanks for that clarification because
Yes.
I am out there too, hustling and bustling for a living for
yes,
myself.
Mhm.
So is this
yes,
the new norm
yes.
when we move it into 2024? Will we find more and more women, Clara, having to do hunting, whether it's for a relationship, whether it's for food, whatever, um, or will the
no,
world ever go back to a
nobody,
place where men provided for women?
no, nobody knows what a woman wants more than a woman.
Amen.
So if I have to hunt for what I want, I will do the hunting
Oh yeah.
because I know that
Oh, great.
whatever it is that I win in hunting is
Smart.
going to be satisfying for my soul.
Yes.
So whether you call me a hunter, huntress, or chief hunter, I'm happy.
Chief
I'll wear
hunter.
that
Chief
crown.
hunter.
I'll wear that crown. I'm not ashamed. Yeah.
And
I
on that
Well,
note,
to answer
Nobody, no
to
woman,
an,
nobody else. knows what a woman wants more
That's
than
so
That's
a
true.
true.
woman.
That's
And
true.
so
So
answer
true.
Claudette's question about whether a woman, whether we'll ever go back to the man providing for us totally. I don't think so. I think
Mhm.
we've grown past that, where we
Yes.
can see,
And
even
and
if even
and
if he
even if
provides to a certain level.
but
Mm,
and also if the girl is 16, 17, 35, 40, she needs to realize that the man can never provide what you really
Everything.
want. They can't provide everything. So you have to know that you have to go out there and get it if you
But
really want. What is
yes,
that? You can get it if you really
is
want.
it? But recently I have been looking at this whole
yeah.
new paradigm of saying that women are going out to hunt. But I'm looking at it and I'm saying, have we ever lived in any era from Jesus' days until now where women are not part of the hunting process?
No.
I can't think of it because in the Bible days, women had to go out and glean in the field. So women have always been participating in their survival and in their hunting. And even though we make it look like it's just the man one, if we are honest, through generations, you have some women who at home not doing anything, as people would say, filing their fingernails and twiddling their thumbs. But generally speaking, most women have always been part of the process of feeding themselves. If it's even to go and glean in the field after Boaz team finish.
So why is it? I know jealousy is part of it. So, but I'm always trying to link it back to something that's happening right now.
Mhm.
Why is it that so many Jamaicans gave Miss Kitty such a hard time? Because this was her position about women. She never used the word hunter, but that's
Mhm.
our take. I know that she has married someone. She's found her equal
Mhm.
on many levels. She has found her equal, and he has found his. I hope. Um, why did we give her? Not we, them, give her such a hard time.
You know what I challenge with us as women, Claudette? We are not nice to women who live out some of the fantasies that we have in our hearts. The women that are bold enough to step out.
I
There
was
are
going to
some
use
in the
that
beginning. There
very
are
word.
some repeat. What's
I
that,
was going
Claude?
to use that very word that
Yes,
women are threatened by another woman's boldness.
yes. And so she was bold. She had an agenda. And she worked her agenda. She do her hunting, maybe not using those words, but she did her thing her way. She had an agenda. And the thing about her that I liked was the fact that she's living out there loud, she's living out there broad, and she don't shy away from claiming who she was. While other persons beating up the gum to talk about who she is, she had, as I was saying to someone today, some of us as women have to put on the blinders that horses put on and keep your focus. And she did that. She kept her focus, got her degree, became a lawyer, and then get a good husband on top of it. I know she going to have baby coming in, so there'll be
Can you
three,
imagine?
and there'll be three. And a lot of the persons who are sitting down watching her story is still where they were when she started her story. And as I was,
Like Clara will tell you, Miss Kitty was not my favorite person. She still isn't in terms of personality on
yeah,
the air and so forth. But hats off to her. The
yeah,
girl, she had her program, she set her vision, and she worked
mhm,
it.
and
She
she
worked
worked
it.
it.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
all accolades to her. And I'm not saying every woman should make journey the way she did, because of course sometimes the loudness and stuff. Because I'm a person who not too love loudness. Sometimes it might jar a little wrong nerve. But generally speaking, I've always admired how she owned who she was. She owned who she was. She didn't pay anybody any mind. She owned it, and it worked for her. So what we now need as women in general is to find your own niche, find what works for you, and work it.
Work it, work it, work it. And
Mhm,
as Carella says, some have it in their mind, but they're
mhm.
afraid to release
Oh
it.
yeah.
And she also said, so when someone go after what they want, it becomes a problem to other women.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
And I was saying to, as I was saying to a group of women today, listen to me. Stop watching other people quarreling and stories. Stop watching failures. Put up your own poll in your bedroom and live out your fantasy at home, even if you don't like how they live it out a road. Stop quarreling with them or them I live because you did want somebody who put $1 in your G string too. Let the man you have in your house put the dollar in your G string and stop worrying about other people G string out a road and then out a road and walk up and a show for them. You take care of yours at home. Not hearing you.
Sorry, on that note, we go to the next the next clip, the next topic that we covered on a woman's prerogative during 2023.
What's wrong with you? You don't see yourself as this awesome woman. You don't see yourself as you're going to the children's school, drawing something. Because you're no longer this woman that goes out and look hot and sexy because now you are somebody's mother.
Mom.
Eventually, you sometimes, if the man is not as grounded as he should be, it's not your responsibility to entertain your partner and staying with you. But it's also your responsibility to maintain a relationship and be there in the relationship. And that is jumping to the end of the story. That is why after some children leave home, relationships ends because there's nothing in common with your partner. You were not growing you were not growing a relationship with your partner. It was just the only talk if you're talking about the children. So now you have nothing in common.
Our conversation on mothering. We were talking about the joys and pain of mothering. Clara, how has mothering been for you personally during 2023, and how you saw mothering played out in the Jamaican society from your perspective this year? Clara? Clara, you're muted. Okay.
Yeah, I pull it. 2023 was no different for me in terms of um, mothering. Um, Perhaps because as my child gets older, I recognize that he's not a baby anymore. And this phase of mothering is, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it because when I see the growth, when I see the development, I not waiting on anybody to say it to me. I pat myself on the shoulder. I must have done
Yes.
something good or something right. I won't claim to be the absolute best parent, but I try to be. And when I compare with what I see happening out there, I just thank God for making me the custodian of the child that I am raising, still raising, since he's still in the household. And I don't consider myself lucky, but I consider
Nice.
myself blessed.
From your perspective, Gloria, what is your view on some of the pains that you saw around you, not necessarily personally in your life, of mothering this year? Oh, she dropped off. Dr. Asha, the same question to you. What are some of the pains and
Okay.
joy you saw in mothering, not necessarily in your family, but around you?
Because I have adult children now, so one still lives with me, but she's an adult. But looking at what I see happening in our society, for me, my heart aches at some of the way we see parenting taking place. The conversation up to just this afternoon, my daughter was telling me about a mother complaining to her about a friend, and she offered to box down her mother and all of these things. Because to be honest, some parents are really hard to live with, and some parents, because they did not receive the kind of parenting that they needed. So they don't have the proper modeling to mothering sometimes. And then sometimes instead of modeling the little better mothers around them, they tend to criticize those other mothers and try to tear them down. And so for 2023, I have noticed that it has gotten worse with the way the children are behaving and the relationship between them and their parents. But I've also seen as well in 2023 a lot of fathers stepping up to the plate, doing a little better, and more a better relationship with some parenting. This co-parenting thing, persons are getting into the whole idea of what co-parenting is all about. So we are not in a relationship, but we are both parents for a child. And I've seen some improvement in that area as well. And more mothers this year, I think, go to PTAs and all of that, because some of them really are being called in because of the behavior of their children, and some realizing what is happening, trying to protect their children from going down that path. So it's a mixed bag that I've seen this year, and I'm hoping that for 2024 it's going to be much improved.
It's funny you should talk about co-parenting, because that's our article tomorrow about co-parenting at this time of the year, when you have divorced and so forth. But you're right about the mixed bag and the needing to call more mothers to account.
Yes.
We're always talking about absentee fathers and so forth. Yeah. But what about the present mothers who are failing?
They're pretty absent, although they're there.
Yeah. Okay, time is upon us, so let's go to the next one. Let's see what we have next.
As a mother, we need to focus on ourselves. We need to sometimes let the dishes pile up with more.
Sorry, that's the one that we were just talking about. Let me find another one. I don't know where Gloria dropped off, and we're in.
Hopefully she'll come back before we're through.
Yeah.
Nutrition month is not something that I before this year paid much attention to, and I'm going to be honest why.
Several reasons. I don't know about you, Dr. Asha. Several reasons. It's not as publicized as some other days, right? And that's sad, because nutrition is vital to all of our well-being. It's vital to who we are, our survival, and all of that. So it's a pity that. But this year, here at the Daughters of Sheba Foundation, we are focused on the underlying theme of leveling up. And part of the thing, one of the many things that as women ought to look to leveling up is the way how we are treating our bodies, the way we're feeding ourselves. And Dr. Asha, I know this is your thing, apart from being a psychologist, I know that you're a wellness coach. So I'm going to invite you to say your piece on this, to start us off.
Yes. And as you rightly said, nutrition is something we only get to when we feel sick or something is happening or a special time. However, it is important because, to be honest, without nutrition, there's no fuel for the body. And if without proper nutrition, there's no health, no wealth, nothing else. Everything we.
So, Dr. Asha, let me stop there. Nutrition. What's the nutritional status of the community as you see it, the women as you see it? Are we healthier? Are we just the same? Are we getting worse? What's happening?
I'm almost tempted to say on a level we are getting worse. In that cost of living this year have really gone up, really gone up. Food has become really expensive. The news this evening tell us that it's going to get more expensive going on to the rest of the end of the year. And so we got to a stage where persons were not even eating for nourishment per se, just to fill the bellies. So a lot of times the things that fill the bellies is the heavy carbs and poor diet. But what we also realize is that some persons are are getting more health conscious. And because I look at my own personal self, I went to the doctor. Doctor is telling me I need to work on my iron level because you're fighting this thing, cancer and everything else. And I've always had a iron challenge because of birth defects when I was born. So I've always had to work a little harder. So I think about women now who their finances are low. The nutrition is just something that people are not, some persons are fully aware, but they're not prioritizing it because they're just
The
eating
cost
what
of
they
food.
get because of the cost of living. And as I was saying to some persons today as well, some of the persons that sell the nutritive natural products, we are really outpricing it because it is healthy. We put too much cost on it. So people buy the empty calories because they're cheaper. So the
I don't
balance
want
is
to
really
sound as
tough.
if I'm always pushing the former PNP government of Michael Manley, but I am.
Yes, you are.
What happened? You remember those days when they used to tell us plant, eat what you grow, and backyard got
They're still
farming and
telling us to
so
do
forth.
it. It's still
So
happening
what's
now.
happening? What's in your experience, Gloria? Do you see people growing their own food or at least trying
Yes,
to?
yes, I do. I do.
Yeah, and how?
My
So in
neighbor
your
has started a huge garden
okay.
beside me, and he has a lot of vegetables that he plants. But
Mm-hmm.
they are. I going back to what you said about the Michael Manley days. Yes, it is being
Mm-hmm.
still promoted, and even on the news, on the air, people, it's still being promoted on a regular basis. And even when there's a farmer's place up close to Hope Gardens, a kind of forestry department or something. They have a program that they bring on to share when they have plants for free
Mm-hmm.
available. Yes,
So I see
fruits, vegetable
Colleen saying,
plants.
I started being health conscious only because of a diagnosis by my doctor. It was my
Mm,
wake up call, so to speak. And
Yeah.
that is the story of
mm,
many of us, isn't it?
It's
yeah,
true. It's true.
Yeah.
but
But the
yes,
drive
it's
is
still
still
being
on, as
promoted.
Gloria is saying. There's still a big drive to get
Yes.
persons to plant they're telling you container planting. They have competitions. They always have things going out. Right now, there's a backyard gardening kit
Okay,
being
I know.
distributed
Okay,
to
all right.
people.
So they're
But
telling
these
people,
things
but
are
are people
happening.
doing it? Are people doing it?
Some
Are
are
Yes.
people
Yes,
doing
buying
they
it?
it.
are. Yes,
Some
they
are
are.
doing it.
Yes.
Some are doing it.
Yes.
The
Okay.
same set of people doing it.
Yes, and one of the challenge we also face is
What
that
are you saying, Clara? That it's not? It's the same set, small group of people doing it. It's not
Yeah,
spread.
Glorias, the
yeah,
Glorias, the Dr. Ashas, the Claras, the Claudettes.
yes,
But
and to
but
be
the
honest with
wider
you,
population hasn't bought in. Is that what you're saying?
some persons are doing it, but then again, some persons because of the environment in which they live and because of selfishness. So because the same challenge that I have, a lot of people have as well. Farmers who raise animals are unfair to farmers who plant crops. So they're not putting up their animals. And I speak for in my area that I live, the goats are new breed goats. This is the one that Jesus talked
Oh,
about.
them yama of your
And they
kids
jump
there,
over
are
the
they?
highest wall, they climb mountain. Them a goat here, and them Jesus when they talk about. I know the first time goat them. It's
So
them goat
Colleen
here.
says, I used to grow some vegetables and fruits in my yard, but the bugs, not the goats, are giving her a
Hmm.
hard time, and she
So
wants to
she need
keep
to
it
know
at
to
home.
take care of that.
She,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So maybe that's something we need to focus on next
Yes,
year.
maybe we could for the new year.
Yeah, for the new year. All right, let's go to we have a couple more, so let's keep it moving, keeping it moving. Let me see what next we have here. Okay, here we go.
Let's do it. So my understanding, just for definition, and then Dr. Asha will lead us into the conversation. And I don't know what's happening with me tonight. My jiggy is not moving the way I want them to move, and so I guess I just want to read something about violence and society, and from a sociologist's perspective, and it says violence matters. It wreaks and shortens lives. It causes pain and suffering, and is
Mhm.
often part of rapid social change. And Dr. Asha, tell me if I'm wrong, if that's not what you part of what you have in mind when you wanted us. Since last month, we were supposed to have this discussion about social trauma and how it affects women.
So you're on par. You're quite on par, Claudette. Social trauma. We create as we go along in society terminologies to fit the situations. So many years ago, you may not hear of social trauma, but it is the same thing. You see, you're stressed out and you're depressed by what happened around you. Social trauma is the same thing. But when I even suggested to you that we could look at this topic, it's because I have been interfacing with a number of women, and I realized some part of the women don't even know what is happening to them. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I depressed? Why don't I want to see television? Not just the news anymore. That I just want to see the TV. Seeing the TV makes me depressed. Hearing the news, because social trauma is part of our experiencing violence, rapes, and so one of the things we tend to forget as a society. I may have never had a family member that have experienced being raped or killed or have a break in or any of these things. So for me personally, I've never been raped, but I've been victim of attempted rape twice. Thank God I was able to maneuver that very well. I've been victim of being held up by a gunman, hitting my head, seeing guns. I've experienced.
So, social trauma was a big issue for you, Dr. Asher. Is a topic that you really, really wanted to talk about. Specifically, we have touched on the whole issue of how violence impacts societies, but this of how the impact of the social trauma is showing up among women. Have you seen any change in the last few months since we talked about that?
Before I say that, it's a good thing that my blouse are really for me. It's an borrow me did borrow it. And the same blouse me have on. It's really mine. Yes.
Or you never give it back.
I, I could have that too, but I mean, my story is it's mine and I still have it. Right. So when it comes to social trauma, it to me it has worsened.
Mm,
Unfortunately, it has worsened. From when I had the concern then to now, it is worse. A baby was
yeah, 12-year-old or something like that.
but a baby was killed, shot. I don't know if the baby died in Dunkirk just today in Kingston. So we are just not getting it right yet. I don't know how we're going to get it right. Some people saying doomsday, people saying it now go fix till Jesus come. So maybe he need to come tomorrow or something. But we are still being impacted by social trauma on a very big level in every aspect of our lives. And I don't know what the answer is more than to encourage persons to look within, look up, and then look out.
What's the responsibility of the government? And this is the other elephant in the room for me. What is the responsibility of any government? Any government. I don't care party now. In terms of, I've been saying it since 2022 about needing a intervention in society as a literal psychological intervention, and it has been done. Sorry, I just need to take off something. It has been done in other countries. It can be it's public relations, it's public education campaigns, and so forth. An intervention is needed in many countries, but we're talking about Jamaica. An intervention is needed where some of the things that I've talked about that I see on social media is countered. You know, I hear again Jamaican Carlos. I'm not trying to drag him into anything, but even this week I heard him talking about how the music might be affecting the psyche of the some young people in terms of violence, gun violence. I hear people talking about corruption, how corruption is affecting. Again, I don't care who wants to drag me. I'm going back to that woman who lived on the Gulf Bank, who this week, the last 2 days, making big headlines justifying her corrupt behavior with Western Union. It is Clara and Gloria and I, this is a non-profit organization. And Clara, Gloria, and I, from time to time, either I have to send money down or they sending money to me here to do something or whatever. And Clara, tell the people if I'm lying. I'm not dragging you into anything. This is a fact. And Gloria, have we not had a situation where either you had to go back to Western Union because I had to correct the spelling of your name or I didn't put your middle name, or the same thing with me? Gloria, I think you sent some money up here to Canada for me to do something, and you didn't put my middle name or something, and I couldn't get the money. Am I lying?
It happens to
That's
everybody.
correct. Yes, that's correct. Yes.
It's correct.
Correct.
Okay.
So why is other people as well?
Why is it then that we can have a prominent social media personality and other people talk about that? All of us as bloggers and bloggers need to talk about it, and I agree with them. Why is it that we can have a prominent social media personality? I'm not calling her a celebrity because I do not consider her a celebrity. Why is it that we can have a prominent social media person in Jamaica going out and casting aspersions on Western Union, that she can send people to Western Union to collect money, and when they get to, so she sent me, Claudette, to Western Union to collect money from Dr. Asha, and when I get to Western Union, and they, as they always do, question you about who is this person who's sending the money, what is the relationship, so forth. And I can't answer the question. I say to them, oh no, it's not the money, it's not for me, the money is for Auntie Donna. And then Western Union, this is what she's claiming. Western Union picks up the phone and calls Auntie Donna for permission to release the money to these people. Millions of dollars have been coming into the country, like to this woman, according to her, via this means. How is it then are we going to end corruption and all other negative behaviors in the country if the government is not going to take a stand and say enough is enough?
You know something, Claudette, I've been listening to you, and I'm trying to think of one change that we have had in any country, any nation that has taken place without the people deciding to take a stand, without the people deciding that they want more, the people deciding that they're going to be active. One of the things about us as a people in Jamaica, to be honest, I don't follow Auntie Donna, so I don't even hear. It's the first I'm hearing these stories now, but
I don't follow her either, but I follow the other people and I hear it.
Right. So one of the things I'm saying, integrity is on an individual level. It's only what can change our nation. And all of us have integrity in public eye when it is easy for us. But what integrity means is doing the right thing at all times, even when no one is looking. And in Jamaica, on a wide level, from the pastor to the pauper, to everybody, some of us, we are a sellout. We discriminate and fight against persons who stick to the rules. They are the ones who tend to get shafted and suffer a little bit because we encourage people in their nonsense, because we turn a blind eye because tomorrow we intend to do the same nonsense. Even when governments try to put policies in place, we see them fight them, break them down. Jamaicans will do the wrong thing in their own country every single day and go to foreign country and follow the rules and regulations.
They do. You're absolutely right on that. I see them here in Canada following the regulation. But you do have a few, because I used to work in the criminal justice system, and I've met quite a few Jamaicans in prisons because I worked there. And the ones who decided that they're not following the rules, and they find out pretty quickly. The consequences of not following the rules here in Canada and maybe in the States as well. So what is it going to take for the government? I know the personal integrity is crucial, but we have gone so far away from it in some sectors of society. what will it take for us to re-inculcate people with this integrity? Clara, your point, your view.
Huh?
She kind of, oh, she coming back to life. She was stuck.
I
And I'm not
I don't
asking you
have,
to comment.
I don't,
I'm not asking you to comment on the Miss Donna situation. I'm not calling her no damn Auntie
I
Donna.
don't know what that
Miss Donna
situation is.
situation.
Right?
I
But no,
will.
but I'm
I
asking
will.
you to comment on how do we get to not even back to a sense of decency, integrity, to borrow Dr. Asha's word in the Jamaican society. Because the other clip that I was going to show from one of our conversations, the question was, are we failing our girls? That was a conversation that we have. Are we failing our children with this lack of integrity in the Jamaican society? We're talking about Jamaica. Are we failing our children by allowing and promoting these unscrupulous people and their behavior, allowing them to get away with it and giving them big contracts and putting them on billboards and all of that, allowing them to. I saw a thing recently about Nigeria, Facebook pulling Nigeria from earning money on its platform. It's coming for Jamaica soon. Um, because of the
I'm thinking that's where
scamming.
it should start.
That's what,
That's
Clara?
where that perhaps that's where the change will start. When
When
people
there is
not
no
know
money
take
involved,
a step,
when
take a take a step and or take a position not to support this kind of behavior, because when I when I see this scrutiny that I face, for example, going back to what you were saying about Miss Donna, when
Mhm.
I see the scrutiny that I face to collect $35 when
Listen
he
to
sent
me.
for direct, and like, so who is Claudette to you? Oh, my sister. And then, or how much are you expecting? Oh, I, I tell them, don't send me to Western Union. Don't send me to no MoneyGram. My brother gave me some US dollars to give to my sister to MoneyGram to change it, a cambio. The lady told me that she need proof that my brother is worth $150.
Your brother, the doctor in the United
Yeah,
States of America.
yeah, 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 yeah. I just walked out of it. I just walked out of the place and called me
Gloria, what are
Willie.
your thoughts on this, Gloria, as we
And
wrap up?
I just like, I don't know.
What are your thoughts, Gloria?
Um, well, I mean, in terms, taking, I'm looking at it from the aspect of our girls, in terms of are we failing our girls? Um, I had a conversation even this week. I think we are failing our younger generation in general, just girls and boys, because the persons who are supposed to be examples for them, persons they're supposed to be looking up to, we can't, I mean, I'm not saying everybody, we kind of sweep everybody with the same brush. Everybody
Right,
can't
boss.
protect everybody in this, but we're in the age of social media, unfortunately. And so that is where they draw on for their imaging, for people
Yes,
they're gonna emulate. So
yes.
unfortunately, a lot of our more upstanding or outstanding persons here don't really put a lot on social media.
No, they don't. Because
You know?
even look at us.
They don't do it.
Even look at us. Let us call ourselves outstanding people. We don't have a
Yes.
massive following. They don't listen to us.
Mm,
And our people don't come here as their people come here. I mean, yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
mean, we are busy. We are busy building up ourselves and our country. So we don't have a time to post a lot on social media. We don't wake up in the morning and start with breakfast or whatever. So,
I
because because
do.
we get up in the mornings and we have to
You're an
get ready for
exception.
work and get our children for work, ready for school. And so we don't have
Mhm.
time to be constantly posting. So we are not in the limelight
Different
on
set of
social media
hunters.
as other persons.
Yes, we're
So,
hunters.
right. And so, the persons who we want to impact in a positive way, unfortunately, they are not seeing us because we are not
They're
on
not.
social media. Right. We are not the social media influencers. And so unfortunately, what they are absorbing
Mhm.
is not as positive as we would like it to be,
What they're
unfortunately.
absorbing is a way how to scam, con, unalive, deceive people.
Mhm.
That's what they're seeing. And that's
For
what
me,
they need.
for me,
I
one of
mean,
the things,
to
one
be
of the things
honest,
I.
Clara and I attended a concert on Sunday, the children's recital voice box put
Mhm.
on
Okay.
by Tessa and Shane. She has a group of young people that she works with. But
Mhm.
you
I
don't
saw
see a lot
it.
of you don't see a lot about that on social media
No, you
either.
don't.
And she's been doing this for quite a while.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that it's not so much. I mean, it's not a lot in the limelight. More negativity is there than positivity, unfortunately. So we are failing our
Yes,
children.
we are failing our society. One of the things that I still don't get it, and I persons will sometimes want to make persons like us who do all of this charity work, and we don't advertise ourselves to make it look like we only say we're doing things, we're not doing things. But I do not get it. I am saying we used to get help to do the programs we're doing. We used to help people before social media. Why do we need to advertise people? Why do
Mm,
we really need to take away their stories? Why do we need to pay people to come and say they get something, and it's only money they get is the pay that they get to come and say that they get something?
mm,
Why do people need to build themselves up and build up their, you're only getting awards for community service if you're big on social media, tell
It's the
everybody what
biggest.
you're
right.
doing. People within the
True.
community space don't acknowledge what you are doing anymore,
Hmm.
pay attention
And
to the work you used to do, and honor you. And too many of us are walking with our charity camera.
Correct. Correct.
Walking with our
and the
charity
sad and the
camera.
sad the underbelly of that is that they're not doing it for the people who they're supposed to be supporting. They're
No, they're
doing it
doing it
for
for
their own
themselves.
pockets. They're
Yeah.
doing it for their own
Mm.
pockets.
And some are just doing it for people
Well,
to praise them and big them up. And
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 so that they
this
get
thing
the
they're doing.
YouTube and the
I can't
Facebook
manage it.
followers so that the monetization. Ladies, this has been a wonderful conversation. I know Dr.
Mhm.
Asha wants us to talk about one other thing
We don't have to.
before we go.
We
No,
can
no,
do it
no.
this time.
Let's do it quickly. Dr. Asha wants us to look at just very quickly the whole as we enter into the Christmas season and the holiday season. Those of us who are widowed, widowers, widows, those of us who are divorced, those of us who are separated, those of us who single, never married or anything, those of
Never
us
have
who are in
nobody.
hospice, those of us, those people who are shut-ins, loneliness. How do we experience the holiday season without drowning in depression? Dr.
And
Ashley.
and for me, a lot of women are extremely lonely. And there's a group of women that you have left out, Claudette. A group of women who are married, living in the same house with their partners, and it's as lonely as hell. Because their partner don't even look upon them, they don't business with them, they don't get a hug nor anything. And so for these women, and it's real, and I was talking to some of these women this week, and these women sometimes become suicidal
Mhm.
because a partner is there, they are busy loving everybody else. And people now look at you and say, oh, you have the perfect life. So nobody else not help you neither, because your life perfect. And they don't realize how lonely you are because we are a set of pretenders sometimes. Because of society expectations, we pretend. So women on a whole going through this season. It's not only women, but we're focusing on the women right now. A lot of women are facing extreme loneliness. A lot of women are dreading the holidays because the holidays talk about family coming together for celebration, and it's just you, one Almighty God, and the color of the house, and you don't have nobody. And I'm saying to all women this year, take yourself out. It's okay. It's okay to take yourself out to the restaurant. It's okay to take yourself out to a play, or call another lonely sister and say, come on, there's a thing that I think is Emily Brunt. Say, are you lonely? I'm lonely too. Let's not tell anybody. Let's accompany each other. So find another lonely sister and accompany each other, not in misery, because I say misery loves
He
company,
loves company.
but not in misery. But let's go out and celebrate ourselves. Let's celebrate each other. Keep an impromptu party if you know one another. Karaoke, sing, laugh, go to the beach. Women now need to become creative. And if our sisters, we know there's a sister over there, so who is a bit on the alone side, because sometimes we know they're alone, but we don't know if they are lonely. Because it's not everybody that is alone that is lonely. Because even when I'm alone, I am not lonely. Somebody asked me the other day if I don't get bored staying at home. I said, oh, can I leave
No.
the
How
house
can
and
you
get
be bored?
bored? But I'm bored if we got somebody else and nothing to do, but we can't board in my own house. I mean, must have something to do. If I even figure out don't want to win that again, I can find something to do at home. So we need all women to re-engage yourself, become active, take care of yourself, fix up your place. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I fix up my place for the new year. Give yourself a purpose and a reason, and reach out. And if you are lonely and you don't tell nobody, nobody no. And telling Jesus is good, but telling Jesus alone sometimes doesn't work. Tell
No,
another
but you
human.
tell Jesus, let us say you tell Jesus and him send somebody,
Yes.
but the
And you
person don't
pretend
look the person don't look the way you want them or how you expect them to be.
to
Thank
look.
you so much for that, Dr. Asha.
Yes.
Ladies, as we close tonight, this is the last A Woman's Prerogative. It might be one of the last lives that we have for the rest of 2023. So I want to give you, I think we have one more, two more, but I want to give you, Gloria and Clara, the last words as we close out tonight. Who wants to go first? Clara, wake up.
Just to say, it was a wonderful, wonderful year. We had fun, we had challenges, and we have come a long way
Oh, yes.
in meeting those challenging times. We are a resilient bunch, and
Mhm.
that that helps us.
Yeah, absolutely. Gloria?
Um,
Oh, sorry,
we
Clara.
want, yeah, yeah, we just want to express our thanks for the
Mhm.
support, the tremendous support to the group, and we look forward to better days ahead.
Amen.
Amen. Gloria?
I concur with what everything that Clara said. It's been a privilege.
It's
It's been a
cheating.
privilege as usual to serve our women in this way. I'm very honored, and I want to say thanks to everyone all the women who join us on our lives, those who share, those who view, those who follow, who engage in our different conversations. I want to say thank you to all those women who are always there, and even those who have even shared or just looked at our page
Mm,
just once. We thank you very
absolutely.
much. Yes, we thank you
Yes.
very much. It's been an honor. It's been an honor. We continue. We will, as Clara said, we're a resilient bunch, and we'll continue to serve as we always do. Thanks very
Yes.
much.
Thank you. Dr. Asha, hopefully I will see you for a 2024 version of A Woman's
God's
Prerogative.
willing.
God
And
willing.
Yes.
Claudette, as you go tomorrow to do your
Yes.
surgery, our prayers are with you, our
Yes.
support is with you. I know it is human to feel a little trepidatious, but you have nothing to fear because you are not alone. And the amount of prayers that will be covering you, not even the doctor can make
Yes.
mistake. Not even the doctor can make mistake because the doctor is going to be the hand, but God will be doing the surgery.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Amen.
Thank you everyone for joining us. And
Have a great
I will
night.
see you when I see you.
Yes.
I will
Yes.
see you. Colleen says it's been a pleasure being a part of DOSF, Daughters of Sheba Foundation. I look forward to continue with you all. Blessings always. Thank you. It's been
Yes,
a pleasure
Colleen.
having you
Thank
being
you.
a part of us.
Yes.
And we're going to talk to you again before this year is out. But for tonight, this is it. Thank you, folks.
Awesome.
And thank you for the prayers
Good
as
night.
I close us out. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.